Hey, welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. So, Andy, that was quite a show with Bob Beckel Friday night.
That really was, man. That was a lot of fun.
I especially liked it when he made that joke about having all that cocaine and money in a safety deposit box, but he couldn't remember where.
Yeah, that was a really funny joke.
Yeah, it was a really great bit, that joke.
How does he come up with this stuff, Greg?
I don't know. He's some kind of comedic genius.
I mean, to just make up something like that right off the top of his head, you know what that is, Greg? That is a gift.
Especially the way he made that joke, told that joke with a straight face as if it were totally true.
Yeah, I bet some people thought he was serious.
Well, I know, but he was totally joking.
That's the genius of it, Greg, isn't it?
Yeah, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we did that.
Yeah.
Real Time with Bill Maher. And the other show that Greg is on is just called The Five, not The 5 at 5.
Oh.
I don't want people to watch the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm. See, if we had talked about that show, everybody would know that.
Mm-hmm.
May have changed the channel by now.
We did talk about it, and now they know that.
I just said they may have changed the channel by now.
I don't think so. They usually do that after me. Jesse, I'm kind of with you as far as Mark Maron goes. He's a comedian. I don't have much of a problem with comedians saying rude and obnoxious things. It's kind of part of their job. And you mentioned that he's kind of an angry guy. He actually talks about, he's been to anger management.
Yeah.
Yeah, not successfully, I assume.
Completely
but
unsuccessfully.
At least he's
tried.
tried.
But tried.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't work.
Well, clearly not in his case. He's also been divorced twice.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Because of the anger, I mean. I do think it's more troubling when a political activist like Dan Savage says stuff like that, though. I think that's different.
All right.
Anyway.
Why?
What's that?
Why is that different?
Because I think it's okay for comedians to cross the line. I don't even know that there should be a line for comedians. But if there should, the line should be a lot different than it is for political activists and people who are in politics.
I completely disagree.
No, comedians are more qualified to couch it comfortably in a joke so that when they say something offensive, at least there's funny around it.
No, that I agree with. If you're funny, then a joke is a joke. But to say this entire category of humans can say anything, even if it's not funny, and this other category of humans can't, even if it is funny. No, I think it depends on whether it was meant as a joke, whether it's understood as a joke.
You don't believe that people in different professions have different levels of things that they're allowed to say?
I think it's a cheap thing for generally leftist comedians to defend the things they say by just a blanket statement, I'm a comedian, and when we go to break, I will name 5 comedians who do this who are not funny. Greg Gutfeld is funny.
Not being funny, that's a whole separate issue, though.
But that's why I'm saying what Jesse says makes more sense than what you're saying. You can't just say, oh, because I call myself a comedian.
Case closed.
Right.
I'm a comedian, I'm good at this.
I don't think it makes any more sense what I'm saying.
Obviously, the viewers will disagree.
Okay. All right. That really doesn't bother me either. Jesse, I do disagree with you. I think Maher is straight up sexist. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Not just the stuff he says about Palin and Bachman. I just think in general he is sexy. He thinks women. He treats them like crap.
You're not going to drag me into this like you just did with Ann a second ago.
Okay.
I'm fine with this.
All right.
You wouldn't say anything. You're a comedian.
So, no, I want to get back to this for a second. And you think, let's say, for example, you think a congressman can say the exact same thing a comedian can say?
No, a politician is obviously different. But for example,
that's what I said.
No, you said
you said Dan Savage. You said comedian versus political activist. The point is how it is being said. Look, I'll defend, oddly enough, and give you an example of a liberal. Alec Baldwin is an actor. When he did that thing of standing up and screaming, Henry Hyde's house should be stoned, blah, 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 blah. That was on Conan O'Brien. It was a set piece. It was a joke. They then came in with an oxygen tank. That was a joke. I wouldn't say he's an actor. He can't get away with that. I don't care if you're an actor, if you're Greg Gutfeld, if you're Bill Schultz, or if you're Whoopi Goldberg or Mark Morano or Bill Maher. If it's meant as a joke as opposed to just saying the F word, the C word, or the slut word in order to get attention and get us to talk about you on TV, no, you can't get away with it by saying a blanket, I'm a comedian.
Well, the one thing, Louis C.K., who arguably every comic would say is probably one of the greatest comics ever, he does a 6-minute joke about the N-word, and not the N-word, the actual saying it. He says it a dozen times in the joke, and no one has ever had a problem with it, ever, because it's hilarious. Michael Richards is a stupid actor who tried to do comedy, who said it once, and it ruined his career. So,
right, and he was doing comedy, exactly.
Because Louis C.K. is skilled enough to do so.
Right.
Whereas, like political activists, a lot of times will get themselves into trouble because it's just not funny enough. That's why John Mayer blew up. Also, because he was trying to be funny, but he's just not good at being funny. You know, he's not professionally funny enough to say something like that in an interview, and it just doesn't come off racist.
I guess the difference here, Ann, is you think that Marc Maron wasn't trying to be funny when he said that, or wasn't funny when he said that, so that makes it not okay to you.
It's not the specific case. It's you're categorizing. Anyone who calls himself a comedian can say anything, anytime. And I can give you other examples with more thought.
I'm talking about people who actually are comedians.
Well, okay, but I'm saying it goes beyond whether you call yourself a comedian. Was it meant as a joke? Did people laugh?
Marc Maron is a professional comedian. That's what he does for a living.
Okay, but you're categorizing the human and saying anything that human says is fine. I'm saying if it's a joke, it's a joke.
I just think when Dana Vachon and I do this, we do it better.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right. You know why? Because neither of you care.
It's true.
Greg, you asked if you were wrong to infer from what Mar said that about the Palins being inbred, that it was a joke about Trig. Then you asked if you were using infer correctly.
Yes.
Amazingly, you were.
Well, that's odd, because normally when I use infer, I'm using it almost entirely incorrectly.
I know. I almost fell out of my chair.
Remember when I asked you if you wanted to go to dinner and I said, would you like to infer my fries?
Yeah.
That was screwed up.
Yep.
But I noticed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I looked it up.
Until one of the fries fell into your bearskin rug, which was then in fur.
Yes. Nicely done. See, that's why you're a comedian.
It's very complicated.
Yes.
I take back what I said about comedians being allowed to say anything they want. Yeah. I see now I was wrong.
That was my fault, everyone.
By the way, Rick Santorum responded to what Dan Savage said. He tells radio host Steve Malzberg, quote, "Bottom line is I stand and I wear it as a badge of honor that someone is vulgar and as disgusting and as hate-filled as Dan Savage sees me as public enemy number one." So
he did say bottom line.
Yes, he did. He really did, didn't he?
I find that offensive.
Yeah. Herman Cain says it's okay to ban mosques. Greg, you seemed amused by the name of the city in question here, Murfreesboro.
I had a hard time. No, I was amused because I couldn't pronounce it.
All right. I'll have you know it was named after Revolutionary War hero Colonel Hardy Murphy.
There you go. See? My laughter was at me, not at him.
All right.
Direct your letters at him.
Just so we're clear on that. Matt, you asked who's advising Herman Cain. It is a gentleman named Steve. You should lose your job. He's Serbian. He's a Serbian gentleman. Yeah, it's an old Serbian family name. And awesome point about the Irish.
Thank you.
Still not clear what that was.
Then we wouldn't have Teddy Kennedy. He wouldn't pass the 1964 Immigration Act that purposefully changed the entire ethnic composition of this country.
Okay. I take back what I said about awesome point. Jesse, you brought up some of the things the good people of Murfreesboro have been saying. Among them is Mr. Roy Grady, who says, quote, "Our country established that Jesus Christ is our Savior."
I read that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Did you read the one?
No more bar mitzvahs in Murfreesboro, I'm guessing.
Did you read the one where he said, where is it? I have it right here. That they'll just ravage our livestock and mean to abuse our women.
I missed that
Which I think he's confusing Muslims with werewolves, which happens.
You're right. Yeah. Jane Fonda Scrap from QVC appearance. Jesse, the VC in QVC, of course, stands for value and convenience. I need to point that out.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I know.
This whole time.
You were close. No, you were close. You were close. Greg, you said Fonda confessed a while ago that she betrayed American forces. Well, no, she apologized. And what she did was she apologized while a veterans group was disrupting production of a movie she was working on. And she apologized only for the photo that she took where she's standing behind the Viet Cong's anti-aircraft gun. She's never apologized for doing broadcasts on Radio Hanoi, never apologized for giving aid and comfort to our enemy or any of that. She thinks all of that's still okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I stand corrected.
Okay.
Even though I really didn't write that question. I was just mouthing it.
You said it, you own it.
Not that one. I disown that.
Lastly, so you don't have to read Fonda's new crappy book about the secrets to how to age well. Here they are. Be born to acting royalty, grow up to be really pretty, so you can be an actor too. Be rich to begin with, then marry one of the world's richest men. There you go, people.
Thanks for saving us money.
Absolutely.
I'm still going to go out and buy it.
Don't do that. She's a traitor.
I know. Thank you, Andy. See you later. Coming up, George Clooney is dead.
What?
Yes, tired of Brad Pitt bringing his messy kids over to the house. They always stain the rug with their staining things. Don't forget to check out the brand new Fox News iPad app. It has lots of cool features to keep you connected. Get Fox News alerts, stream live video, watch the latest red eye clips on your iPad for free, he said. Download it at foxnews.com/iPad.